Moving on to Cuba then, that is facing its gravest crisis in decades as fuel shortages, blackouts and even sanctions bring life in the island to a standstill. Emergency measures have been effected to conserve fuel as supplies dwindle under US economic pressure. The government has closed universities, reduced school hours and the work week. It has cut public transportation and even limited fuel sales. Power outages lasting 12 to 15 hours a day have become a routine in Havana and across the island. Energy analysts and even international trade monitoring agencies maintain that Cuba's fuel reserves are just enough to meet 3 weeks of total domestic demand. The electricity shortfall has disrupted water pumping and food shortage, as well as the country relies on imported fuels for roughly 95% of its energy needs. Cuba warned international airlines that jet fuel will no longer be available on the island. In fact, according to a notice to aviation, the shortfall is set to last from 10th of February till 11th of March and come just days after top officials said that air travel would not be impacted by fuel rationing plan. This had led airlines including Air Canada to suspend its services to Cuba. The carrier even said that it plans to fly empty planes to pick up approximately 3,000 passengers on the island and return them home. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has confirmed that crude oil shipments from her country to Cuba have been halted, and this while Mexico is still seeking ways to resume them following US threats to impose tariffs on nations supplying oil to the Caribbean island.
This sanction being imposed on countries that sell oil to Cuba is very unjust, very unfair. It's not right because sanctions that affect the people are not right. You can agree or disagree with Cuba's government regime, but the people should never be affected.
Well, Cuba has long depended on Venezuela for much of its jet fuel, but it has received no crude or refined products since mid-December. When the US moved to block Venezuela's exports, that is, President Donald Trump has since vowed Cuba will receive no more Venezuelan oil and has threatened tariffs on any country that supplies fuel to the island. The island of 9.6 million inhabitants has been under a US trade embargo since 1962, enduring years of economic crisis marked by extended power cuts and even shortages of fuel, medicine and food.